Good morning, good evening, and welcome to this week's live craft and chat where we talk craft and chat live. Lots and lots going on. I actually got some projects finished. I got my tide pool finished. There's no sound. Are you sure? Are you sure there's no sound? Can you guys not? Knitspin Girls was getting the music. Is everybody grabbing my microphone? Can you all hear me talking? Sound good here for Knitspin Girls? She can hear me. So those of you that can't hear me, maybe a refresh and just double check you've got. Oh, yeah, good point. Abby's just gone, yeah, those that can't hear you can't hear you for the instructions. All right, but like everybody who's got sound in the chat, please say they've got sound so those that can't hear know it's a them problem. Okay. Oh, Kelly says, sorry, false alarm. It's all good. Oh, that's good. So sorry, I got sidetracked. So this week I got finished the tide pool, which is this really cute top. And I want to have a talk to you about making clothes and making garments, especially if it's your first time around, because we know it can be really daunting to go from making toys or wearable toys or homewares or bags, things like that, moving into the garment, because we know if a garment doesn't fit, you're not going to wear it, right? We all know that. If it doesn't fit right, if you're pulling at it, if you're doing stuff with it all the time, you're not going to wear it. It's going to frustrate you. So I want to have a talk to you about finding patterns that are beginner-friendly project patterns. Now, one thing I want to say is this top is not that. Now, I have a little peeve with this top. Now my number one tip for if you are looking for tops and patterns as a beginner, don't make pieced items, where that is you make a pile of individual pieces and then stitch them together. And why not? Because it sounds like the easiest way to go, doesn't it? It sounds like, oh yeah, I only have to have each individual little piece going at the time. The problem being is it's not until you're stitching all of those pieces together that you can try it on and work out, I don't think this is going to fit. It's going to be too tight or it's going to be too loose. And that's what the problem was with this. It was super simple and super easy to make. And there was even a point before you stitch the pieces together that said, now try it on, pull it over your head and see how it goes. Now, I realized at that moment this was too big. But unfortunately, because of the yarn that I was using, is an absolute nightmare to frog. And even frogging a couple of stitches was so painful. For me to go in and frog the 3 rows of each side that I needed to frog to make it fit was going to, basically I would have thrown it in the bin. I could not have gotten through it. I was holding 3 strands of very fine yarn together, and one of them was very textured, to the point that when I was seaming it all up, I did not use the textured piece because I tried to and it was a nightmare. So I actually pulled out sort of the piece that's the white piece, the cream piece, and that was very textured, so I pulled that out. So finding patterns that you can try on as you go. Now, usually if you look on Ravelry, you check for tags like top down. You can even search in the project attributes for something called top down. So if you are looking at a top, it means it's starting it here and it building it out, so you can actually pull it on and see how it's fitting. Now, obviously, always that little bit awkward before you do the split for the sleeves. It's always going to be awkward. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to stand up and show you what I don't like about this top, okay? So it looks fine, right? Okay, so it looks fine, except I've got so much extra fabric. Oops, that side's pulled up. I've got so much extra fabric that it's creating this sort of like bunchiness here. There is no shaping in this particular top. So that's a plus and a minus, right? But so it's very comfortable and it sits very nicely, but I would have liked even just a little bit less. Like I don't want it like this, but I wanted it like maybe just like a couple of rows shorter on each side. I've dropped my little seat cover. So because I couldn't try this one on as I was going, it meant that by the time I realized it was way too big, and this is the thing, I actually went down a size in the measurements. I did all my bust measuring, my waist and hip measuring. I'd already gone down a size in the top. So this one was very generously sized, which is a nice thing. Let's be honest, it's very nice when they're generously sized. But like I'm finding that it's bunching up around my elbow here, and that's a bit annoying. So I would have liked to have gone in 1, 2, at least 3 rows for the sleeves, maybe even 4 or 5 rows for the sleeves. But if I went in that much on each side, would that have been too much? See, that's the problem. So whereas when you make garments that you can try on as you go, you can make adjustments and customizations. Because let me know in the chat, does everybody here fit a perfect size something or other perfectly every time? No matter what store you shop in, every store that you go to fits perfectly every time. Because that's not me. Every design, every shaping, every cut, I have to try them on because sometimes the sleeves will be snugger, sometimes the body will be too snug, sometimes the sleeves will be billowing. You know, the advantage of being able to make our own things is that we can customize them for our body, for our fit. If you don't like such a deep neckline, you get to make the adjustments and bring it up higher. You know, if you have big arms like me and you need to make armhole adjustments, you can do that. So your body still fits and is not billowing to allow for the shape of your arms. If you've got a really big, like a tight hourglass figure and you've got bigger hips and you still want that shaping, but you want it to skim the hips and not strangle them, you can adjust for that. And vice versa. If you've got a bigger bust and then a narrower waist and hips, you can adjust for that. So you can make all of these adjustments yourself, okay? I'm going to jump back into the chat here because I've missed saying hello to everybody. So good morning to Knit Spin Girls. It's great to see you. And Ruth is nice and early. So good to see you as well, Ruth. Kelly Pole is here, sounding the alarm. Cheryl Lacemaker from Saskatchewan, sunny Saskatchewan, is here. Good to see you, Cheryl. Teresa is here, and Francis and Sal. So good to see everybody. Ruth is saying, I have a colourwork sweater that I made that I can only wear when it's cold. Is it a bit thick? Is it a bit thick, Ruth? And Knitspin Girl says, and please do try it on. I've finished a jumper from a designer I've knit multiple garments from with 0 problems. Didn't bother trying it on. This one, the body is too short and the sleeves are too long. Oh no, that's awful. And this is the thing, like I just crocheted this, right? So it was relatively fast for a garment and I'm still disappointed in the time that I spent and took. Now, there will be ways around. I can block it and stretch it, so I don't mind if there's a bit of extra length, so I can pull it down to try and get the extra length in it. Because we all know that when you stretch something longer, it becomes narrower, but you also don't want to overstretch it so that you distort your stitches. There's a magic line there that you can keep doing that. So being able to have these options to be able to try and maneuver it, but not everything can be fixed in blocking. Like I hate it. I wish it could. I wish I could go, it's okay, you can fix that in blocking to every problem. But it's not true. There are some things where you just have to frog it and start again. Especially if it's something that you really want, that you love, that you're going to wear a lot. I cannot wait to wear my Jethro cardigan. It's still not cold enough for it yet. It's coming. I can feel the change in the air, but it's not cold enough for it yet. So I'm still looking at garments like this one where it's got just a little bit of weight to it, a little bit of warmth to it. Believe it or not, I think it's mostly cotton. I say I think because I have no idea. I know some of it's acrylic. So I've got 3 strands of machine knit yarns that are on cones that are designed for like knitting t-shirts and things like that, like as in commercial grade. And they're very fine. They're all like finer than most lace weights, and they're a single ply usually. Or no, actually they are plied. There's lots of twist. Anyway, I was hoping for a bit more loosening of stitches to create better drape when I washed it. Didn't happen. Didn't happen. Francis says nothing is perfect. That is true. That is true. Bub says that she is saying, good morning to everyone. I'm lurking again while packing. Good luck with the packing, Bub. I know it's hard. Francis says, currently wearing a long sleeve tee and the sleeves feel like something they're made for someone. Currently wearing a long sleeve tee and the sleeves feel like they're made for someone that's 6 foot tall. I know. I'm like a 5'3" girly, and I need like the plus size clothes. And I swear that clothing manufacturers assume that all plus size girlies are easily 7 feet tall. Whenever I buy pants, I have to get like this much cut off the bottoms. And the problem with that is quite often there's some sort of tapering or something that's going on there. And when you cut it off that much, you are losing shaping, and it just looks a bit weird. Looks a bit weird. So every now and again, there's clothing companies that bring out like, you know, short outfits, you know, or it's like an ankle length or something. Well, not so much even an ankle length, but like the mid-calf length. I'm like, yeah, let me try that on. And it's the perfect length for me with shoes. Callie's Crochet, great to see you. Thanks for jumping in. Kelly says, I don't think I've ever bought a piece of clothing that fit off the rack that fit nicely. Yeah. Bruce says, yeah, it is. I live in Florida and it's hardly gets cold. Hey, Ruth, both you and Russell are in Florida. I know Florida's a big state, but, you know. Russell's actually saying it's pretty chilly at my house in Fort Pierce last winter. Definitely sweater weather. I've actually noticed it's blanky weather here. Like definitely at night when you're on the couch, you want the little knee rug up over your lap. I mean, admittedly, we're a little bit tragic in this household because it's pretty much always knee blanket weather, but sometimes it's less comfortable. Whereas now it's lovely. It's lovely. So I wanted to talk, so we're talking about making garments, and we don't just make tops. Okay, you can knit and crochet bottoms as well. I'm in the process right now of following Crochet with Claire's pattern for her gorgeous skirt. So I finished up making all my pentagons, and I'm now joining them together. And obviously, one of the big advantages of creating our own garments is we can make some little designer tweaks, right? Little things that make us just decide, hey, there's something, like I love the pattern, but there's a little thing that just doesn't sit right with me, and I know another way I could do it that wouldn't change anything else other than the look of this one thing. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about adjusting and changing something up in a pattern? Now, obviously, at the moment, I'm talking about crochet, but the same thing happens for knitting. You know, and in this particular case, we're talking about the joints. I'm going to show the camera in a second. But first of all, I just want to point out I've got 3 Yetis going. There's 3 Yetis here, but I've just realised the water Yeti, it's got maybe a sip of water in it. I forgot to top it up. Coffee's half empty, and the tea is nice and hot, guys. I decided yesterday, yeah, to try a Madura tea, Madura. It's probably pronounced differently. They have an Earl Grey, just at Woolies. It was very inexpensive. I'm fully off Twinings at the moment. Twinings have annoyed me with how long I have to steep a cup of tea before it tastes anything more than muddy water. Now, one thing I want to say is I got the Madura Earl Grey. I love an Earl Grey as long as it doesn't have lavender in it. Some have lavender. This one does not. It has the other purple flower. What's it called? It starts with a B. Anyway, I can't remember. I'm gonna have a sip. My first sip. Oh wow! Now it's definitely fragrant. So Earl Grey's got a bit more fragrance to it. Definitely a little bit fragrant. Not a bad thing. It's Earl Grey. It's supposed to be that way. Wow, I really love this, and I got it on sale, and I think I got like bergamot. Thank you. That's the one, Francis. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, Madeira tea is, or Madura, Madura. I don't know. I have to go and grab a tea bag. I already binned the box. It's already in a jar on the bench. It's like they have made it to bench status. I've got so much tea in the cupboard where I'll try 1 or 2 bags and then the box just stays in the cupboard. But every now and again they get pulled out and put into the repurposed Makona jars on the bench. I really like that. I really like that. Vampire said it was so cold here this morning. I was reaching for my shawl before sitting at the computer. Wow. Francis says I often change and adjust patterns to suit my shape and skills. There we go. There we go. Because that's another thing that's really important. If you're looking at a pattern and it's got like a pile of scary things in there that you aren't familiar with, have a look at what those scary things are doing. If it is purely decorative, you can make adjustments. Now, the thing to remember with a lot of lace stuff is they use the lace to not so much hide increases and decreases, but they'll do the increases and decreases part of the lace. So you need to keep an eye on, you know, each repeat, like if that repeat created an increase too. So you need to make sure that somewhere through the pattern, through that thing, in each repeat, you're adding those same increases and decreases, or your stitch count's going to be off and it's not going to fit. All right. Now, the other thing with lace stuff is you do tend to block it more aggressively. So you open those stitches out. So keeping an eye on that as well. So there are ways you can make adjustments to patterns to make them a little easier or a little trickier. Like if you've got a lace pattern that you absolutely love and you found a sweater that's just really basic and you want to add some lace motifing to it, you can absolutely do that. But you will need to sort of think about how it's going to react and respond. Or you're going to have a really baggy bit up here where all your lace is because you needed to block that aggressively to see the lace. And then the rest of it's a bit more snug. Like you've got to think about some of these things. Kelly says, I often have to pay special attention to how many stitches are allocated to the arms and then add more stitches to suit me. That's pretty much the existence of my life. And I've not found a single designer that made especially knitted, because I haven't done much sort of full sweaters with crochet sleeves, that haven't made a pattern where I've had to add considerable stitches to under the arm to allow it for me so that I could have a nicely fitting body, but also nicely fitting sleeves, right? Because like I do have disproportionately large arms for my body. And making these modifications and allowances means that we're making a garment that we will wear. And that's the big thing in it. Let me know in the chat who here has made something for themselves that they never wore again because it didn't sit or fit or whatever, how they wanted. So they either frogged it or gave it away. Let me know in the chat. I'd love to hear from you. So I'm going to bring in the top down camera here. Leanne says, good morning. Hello, Leanne. Great to see you. Vampy says the Madura Earl Grey is the second most popular tea in our place. My son prefers the Tetley. You know, we were tossing up between the Tetley and the Madura. Abby was showing me the Tetley as well. But I went with the Madura because it was actually on sale. I think I got my box of 50 tea bags for like a couple of bucks. It was not expensive. Knitspin Girl says so many times. Yep. Oh yeah, and all handspun yarn jumper, the first project last year. I've gifted handmade clothes because they didn't fit me right. Yeah. And did you all learn something for your next project? Like, so for me, I haven't given up on this design. I like this design, but I now know that I don't need, you know, that many repeats. You know, I know to try next time to have it less repeats and see how that goes. And I also know not to do this one in such a textured yarn that I cannot frog it, because part of the process of this one, which if I had have read the whole pattern, I would have known that. I still don't think I would have made any other decisions because I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to frog until I was further down the track already. So having the knowledge now that I've completed this one, this is still wearable. I will still wear this. This is still very comfortable, but I don't know where I'd wear it to. Like I might wear it to hanging out with crafty friends, but I wouldn't wear it out one night, if that makes any sense. It's been relegated to t-shirt status. Does that make any sense? It's relegated to t-shirt status. All this work, and I now class it the same as a $10 tee. Francis says it's definitely a learning experience, but very disappointing. Absolutely. Leanne says I have a cardigan that just needs sleeves put on. There we go. Kelly says I've discovered that certain construction techniques, though they take longer to knit, make sense and allow for better tailoring to suit individuals. I would love to know, are we talking like the top-down garments, or are you thinking something else? Kelly says, I think you could dress up your top, especially if you add jewelry. See, Kelly, I don't wear jewelry. I have jewelry. I don't wear it, like, at all. I don't even wear my wedding ring, like, much to my husband's chagrin. I don't wear jewelry. Like, getting me to wear a watch is crazy town. I just don't wear jewelry. Let's see. Bempy says, I don't make garments for me anymore unless they are top down so I can try as I go. Yeah. And this is the thing. I love how this feels. I love how the color work goes. I love how easy it was to make. It was basically 2 rectangles with there was some extra bits at the end, but the majority of the work was a couple of rectangles. It was such a good project to do while watching TV. I would definitely make it in less textured yarn. While I love how the texture looks, I didn't like dealing with the texture while I was making it, if that makes any sense. I love how it feels on. I love the weight of it. Like, there's so much I like about it. And this is the thing. I don't hate it. But I probably, like, the sleeves thing, the bunching of the sleeves does bother me a little bit. But yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Bianca is a prolific garment maker, and she very rarely uses the actual pattern. Absolutely. Kelly says, for tops, adding the collar afterwards means you can rip it and rework until you are happy. If you do that right at the start before the yoke, you need to cut to rework. Picking up stitches is better. Oh, wow. I'm just saying, I was actually I was looking at a project. I think it was gifted, the project from, I think it was Leanne. It could have been the Christmas fairy, but I think Leanne gifted me this one. And it was one that's a V-neck at the front and a lower cut, no, V-neck low at the back and a round at the front. And the construction technique for the neckband, it was, because the neckband was done first, was so cool, and how it created the V. Because I actually usually, like, while I prefer wearing V-necks, I actually hate picking up stitches for a V-neck collar at the end. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I love this. But I love here, Kelly, that you have worked out the things that you love and that make your garment making a better experience for you. Because this is the thing, it's purely individual. It's purely individual. And working out what works for you in your knitting or crochet techniques, the yarns that you like to use and the garments that you like to wear is so individualized that while I can give you ideas on what works for me and places to start, until you're doing it and working out, you know what, I hate this. And then next time, don't do that one. Don't do that style. Do something else. And it's going to come down to a lot of trial and error. And this is where the wheels fall off. There is nothing for me that is worse than getting a long way through a handmade garment, hours and hours and hours of work. It could be 20 hours of work that you realize, you know what, I hate this. I hate the stitches, or it doesn't look right. My stitches don't look like the design, or whatever it is. I don't like this. And making that decision to have to pull it out. That is part of learning the knitting and crocheting experience for making garments. And I don't know of a way around that. You have to be willing to frog and re-go, to pull it back, adjust, and keep going. So you look at it, you work out what it is you didn't like about it, you pull that back and you adjust it. And so my top tip would be, don't use a yarn that doesn't like to be frogged. All right, which is a big mistake I made on this one, because I think if I had have just been able to just pull back a couple of rows on each side and just bring it in a little bit, this would have been A1. But yeah, so just being able to make the decision to look at it and go, no, I don't like this, pull it back and go again. Okay, so, and that is the big lesson here. If you're going to be going into making garments, it is a learning experience. And every garment that you make, unless you're making the same pattern over and over and over again with the exact same yarns, you're going to need to be prepared every single time for looking at it, deciding if it's what you like, and then pulling it back and adjusting it if it's not what you want. It could be great. It could be perfect all the way through and you have no problems, which I've not had that experience, but if it's that good all the way through, that is awesome. But part of making our own garments is customizing them for our own individual bodies. Okay, so Leanne, thank you. This is the Tide Pool tee made to the pattern. Okay, so as I've said earlier in the stream, but you weren't here for it, I'm not quite happy with how, like it doesn't, there's a lot of fabric here. And I think there was a point in the pattern before I stitched the two pieces together that it was like, now try it on and see if it's too big. It was too big, but I couldn't frog it back because of the yarn I used. Kelly says, yeah, it's a learning experience. I don't mind frogging or gifting if I've learned something. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we're going to jump into a current project I'm working on, which is Crochet with Claire's skirt. So it's with all the pentagons, with all the pentagon motifs that she's got going on. Now, this is the join. It is a single crochet join that Claire has done for hers. I love Claire. I hate a single crochet join, like with a passion. So, like, I get that, you can make it stand up and look cute. I get that. But mine always tilt to one side, which is bothersome to me. So unless I can get it to sit like that always, which I can't, I don't like that join. But what I did was I did that one, and then I was like, well, Claire, in the design, Claire actually says you can use whatever join you like. And also you could even mattress stitch it if you wanted. I don't want to mattress stitch it. I love mattress stitching, but I'm not going to mattress stitch this. But I just wanted your opinion, you guys. I did this one, this join, which is a bit, I mean, it's still detailed. You can still see the join. It's not hiding the join, but it's a lot flatter and it's just got a little bit of movement to it. So what do you think about using this slip stitch join? So I'll just pop it there. We'll put them both there so you can have, sorry, there's all yarn ends because I haven't ended anything off. I love those colors too in the front row. Oh, Claire's like, oh, I love that second join. It's a slip stitch join. It's relatively easy to do. Not quite as easy as this top one, but nearly as easy. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do the slip stitch join for mine. It just makes it flatter as well. It's not as raised. And for me, this is the widest part of my body, and I'm trying not to attract too much attention to it. So what do you guys think? Go the top or the bottom? Let's have a look here. Knit Spin Girl Creation says that she doesn't know if she has it in me to finish it and try to sell it. What are you selling, Knit Spin Girls? What have I missed here? I've missed something, haven't you? Oh, I've got a cardigan in the naughty basket. The body and one sleeve is complete. I hate the way it fits. Not in love with the yarn. Trying to decide if I should just bin it. If you are not in love with the yarn and you hate it, what you could do, if you're willing to, like, if you're willing to bin it, what you could do is pack it all up, roll it all up with the pattern and where you're up to with the pattern, and donate it to a group, like a craft group or something. Find out if they want it. Obviously, it's going to be awkward with the pattern because is it a free pattern? Is it a paid pattern? What's the deal? You'll have to, you know, do whatever you need to do in your brain to morally deal with that. But, you know, just going from there is just one of those things. But if you really don't like it, somebody else could love it. That's the thing. Holly says she likes the second join. Frances likes the bottom. Ruth is the bottom. Gabby likes the slip stitch join as well. Claire reckons I should do this one just so I can curse me the entire time. Yeah, that's why I make crafting decisions, to curse Claire. Grr. Oh dear. I probably could have ran a poll to find that out, but I didn't. On my Monday live stream, we were chatting polls, so I had all these polls set up. I think I'm a bit polled out. So, all right. Well, I think I might go with this one then. I like how it looks. I kind of just did it quickly, so I may pull it back and redo it. Undo that one because those are actually the next quiz. Pat J, welcome to the chat. You like the detail on that second joint? Yeah, I'm with you on that, I think. So we're going to pull that guy out. Plop him there. Now this was the out, because I worked out of the same ball. Of course I did. I mean, I had another ball right here, but no, I had to work off the front and the back of the same ball just to make life interesting. Okay. Let us go in. Oh, thank you, Claire. It's a really pretty yarn. It is Panda Crypto. It's pure acrylic, 150 grams to 428 meters. Now, that's the other thing I want to say, right? Like when it comes to making garments, I don't know about everybody. I can't afford to use top quality linen and silk blends all the time, right? Like I do have some. They're saved away for perfect garment when I get to them. But I can't do that for everything, right? And so we have to make decisions. And just like our wardrobe decisions, we have to decide. Hang on, I've just got to start this off. Once I'm started, I'll be all right. Alrighty. Now you guys are watching. I can't do it. Oops, make sure I'm working with the working yarn and not the tail. Alrighty. So yeah, we don't need to make our garments with like these top quality fabrics and fibers every time. Now it's not to say not to, because for me, I live in a subtropical place. Making my clothes out of acrylic is usually not a good idea. It is hot, it is humid. Like, I mean, it's coming into winter and we've still got 20 to 24 degree days. That's heat wave weather in the UK, okay? Like just to put that in perspective, 24 degrees Celsius, which is usually a top of one of our winter days sometimes, is heat wave, summer heat wave in the UK. So making a clothes out of acrylic all the time, not always wise. Now this particular garment, I'm going to be wearing it over leggings, right? So it doesn't matter exactly what it's made out of because it's not going to be touching my skin. So the leggings are going to do all the, you know, temperature controlling stuff. And the skirt is just going to look pretty over the top of plain black leggings, right? So we don't have to go out and spend an absolute fortune sourcing the yarns for our projects, because as like I'm a plus size girly, I know it can cost an absolute shed load of money to buy the nice yarns for our projects. And we can't always do that. Sometimes we can't, sometimes it's not an option at all. So what I would say is go and look at some of the secondhand shops and find a cute sweater in a color that you love that's like a couple of bucks and frog it. Reclaim that yarn, because it's just yarn that's going to waste. Now I do need to go into that spot there. Claire specifically says, alrighty, not perfect, but done. Scissors. Alrighty, I need to do this a few times. Is it long enough tail? Yeah. Alrighty. Where am I up to next? Is this one here? All right. Joining yarns. Now I'm trying not to be precious with which colors join on where and do what. I'm really trying just to go with the ball as such, because the whole thing is such cute colors, right? I want the ends to be on that end, so let's start down here because we've already got all these ends at this end. And why have I made a decision about where the ends are going? I don't want all the end weaving in to be in one place. I mean, the reality is it doesn't actually matter, because you're going to have a beginning end and an ending end anyway. Oh yeah, sorry, it is. It's the colorway unicorn. Sorry, I didn't specify that, did I? Yeah, I always like have to have a think about the first couple, and then after that it's much easier. And I'm sure there's more graceful ways to do this, but this gets the job done, right? Let's go here. Yeah, that's right. The ends are going to be in the waistband. You can crochet over them if you like doing that. Okay. Well, the other ends just need to be woven in, so at least they're not in the same place as waistbands and what have yous. I've gotten really used to not needing to weave in ends so much anymore with doing that technique that we learnt during the Jethro Cal. If anybody has got a link to that video that we utilized, please throw it in the chat. Anything that saves us having to weave in ends. I'm not the biggest fan of just crocheting over the top of our ends, and this was a different way. This was like an in-betweeny method that made me feel like my ends were still secured, and it was nearly as simple as crocheting over the top of them. Get in there, you little booger. Oh, I like that you don't need to take the yarn out of off the hook. That's really simple. Oh yeah, because there's another one where you've kind of got to like take the yarn off the hook, go from the back, pull it through. There's so many different ways to join that I really love this one. I think the one that you're thinking of gives you the beautiful straight line, which, so if you want a straight line rather than this sort of ribboned look, then you would need to do that. But for this particular one, we don't need to do that, which I love. It speeds things up a bit, especially for me. Let's keep going. We're into now the one thing. Oh, hang on, did I botch something? I'm down one here. Did I accidentally go into anything twice? Three. what have I missed here? Because basically I'll go into that one there, but I need to be in this one over here. So I've definitely missed something along the way. Yeah, over here. I must have put a chain in between a group. Oh, no, that's not a chain, but I definitely stitched somewhere. I don't know if I should have. Okay, so we are on to the third top. I'm just going to go again. Third top. First top. Sorry, I'm just going to solve this and then I'll be all right. Because I don't know if what I did just solved the problem or made it worse. And I won't know until I get to the end. Get through the loop. Because it looked like I'd done every stitch where I should have, but obviously not quite. Go the jiggery pokery to make it work. Alrighty, we are at the corner. We are at the corner. Yay, it worked. All right, now we've got 2 done. Woot, woot, woot. All right. Oh no, the coffee cup is empty. Lone Wanderer says, I've been using a machine lately, so it hurts less to frog as the quick. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it still hurts, though, especially on a knitting machine, and you've got to make sure all the weights are back on properly and all your stitches went back on properly. Oh, yeah. Crochet your ends in as you go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Game Widows has got a late note. Hey, Game Widows. Ruth Young has been a member for 40 months. Ruth, that's so awesome. Thanks so much for supporting for so very long. 40 months. Gosh. Alrighty. Next one. Okay. Into the right space. Correct space, I should say, rather than right space. Alrighty, and then into the get those over there. Let's get comfy. All right. Sorry, this is probably not the best part of the project to be working on while we're chatting because I really have to watch it. I do have my my second muscle borrow hat that I'm working on handy as well. So if I, A, get bored, B, finish this section of the top, or C, you get bored, I can switch projects. Now, so this skirt that I'm making, it's my first yarn skirt for me. I've made skirts for Abby when she was younger. She used to live in them in winter with leggings on. I used to make them out of Bendigo Classic because it was before Luxury came out. And it's just a little bit too scratchy for next to our skin. We have sensitive skin. Abby can't wear wool at all now. She used to be able to when she was younger, but she can't now. So I've had to make some adjustments in my thinking as well because I personally think acrylic's not the best for garments, but sometimes you have to go with what you can wear rather than what's best. Sneaking in, hey Molly. Holly's here for 42 months. Oh my gosh. You guys are insane. And I know that there's still someone over on Patreon as well. So, thank you to to you as well, being over on Patreon. We don't do much over there anymore, but I understand not everybody wants to do YouTube memberships. Get through there. So I very much appreciate all of you coming in each month, and those of you that hang out in these lives every week. Alrighty, we are nearly at the end. So one of the things I do like about this particular skirt pattern is that we make, I've done the exact same thing again somehow. I don't know what on earth I'm doing. I'm somehow a stitch short yet again. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's go back. Right at the start of this one. I could see they weren't lining up, so I knew. Oh, you're still on Patreon as well, Ruth? Yeah. Yep. Appreciate that. Now, where am I up to? I'm just coming out of that one. Or am I? Is that the problem? I'm going to start again because I'm so confused. I'm so confused. This is supposed to be easy. And my brain's going, oh yeah, let's do the new thing we've never done before over on YouTube while everybody's watching. Good call. Good call. Okay. Out of the way, tail. All right, so you have to sit so you're here. So, okay, so we've done our first one. Into the space, then into the first stitch. I think what it was is I was doing, oh no. Oh yeah, I've been going into the first stitch wrong. We'll soon find out when we get to the end if we fixed it up this time. Probably haven't. After making this skirt, I have a skirt I'm designing with solid pentagons and a solid skirt like a zigzag blanket. Yeah, performance pressure. Tell me about it. Claire, I can't wait to see your solid colored skirt. I think it's going to look gorgeous. I'm doing this sort of semi-solid variegated. So rather than going scrappy. But I wanted to talk about the options with scrappies. And scrappy makes things sound like they've diminished in value. But the question is, why did you keep the scraps? Like, do they have no value? Or is it that they have value and you want to utilize every single bit of it? Because for me, that's what it is. I've got lots of little minis and leftovers of balls where I finished something else and I kept the last, like 20 grams or something. And it still has value to me. So I think, like, while we love, using up our scraps and get rid of all of our leftovers and things, I think sometimes it's like a word association in our brains. Like, we think of it as scrappy, therefore it's valueless because it's just the scraps. But like, I want to make a scrappy sweater using all of my leftover minis of my hand-dyed 4-ply yarn. And the reason I've kept all of that yarn is because it has value to me. So I think sometimes changing how we think about things as well. So scrappy is, I mean, I could be wrong, right? Like, I may be the only one who thinks of scraps as valueless. Like, let me know in the chat. Like, when you think of something that's made out of scraps, Claire says scraps can make the most beautiful, one-of-a-kind project. Coffee is finished. And they can. They can. I agree wholeheartedly. Flip that over, just tighten it down a little. And then we want to go into, hang on. I need to flip these guys around. Hang on, my brain's just broken again. Here, that's what the problem is. I want to work. That one has to go there, so I need to work. What have I done? Am I working on the wrong sides or something? I don't even know. My brain's like, this is not the correct side anymore. There we go. Tighten that up a little. I don't know why my brain made that so hard. Seriously. Like, why? Okay. Let's have a look at leftovers of anything are always valuable and can be used to make spectacular things. Absolutely. The word has a valueless meaning, but you're right. When it comes to the yarn, there is value in the scraps. Absolutely. Like, that's the thing. Tipples is very loud. Where is he? Oh, awesome. Throw him out the back door. Abby's got the cat talking to her friend on the phone. Anyway, sorry. Tibbles all of a sudden yelled very loudly and he echoed. He was in the bathroom. He's finding all the spots that make his voice louder. So a particular spot in the kitchen, the bathroom. So his meows are very loud. But yes, the word scraps sounds valueless, but it's beyond valueless. It's, the reason it's kept is because it's not rubbish. It's a leftover. It's has promising returns. Leftovers of anything are always valuable and can be used to make spectacular things. Yes, absolutely. I agree. And so I think, like I know that we, quite often say, oh, this is just a scrappy project. But like maybe we could come up with another word. Like, yeah, scraps are great, but we don't, in the fabric world, they don't call the leftover bits at the end scraps. They're remnants. So, maybe we could utilize remnants. I don't know what I've done there. For some reason, that's botched up. I've got to redo it. It seems that I can't do it once. I have to do it multiple times. And I've worked out what it was this time. I joined it onto the other. I know why my brain got confused. Is I joined onto the already joined side. Yeah, because in the fabric world, they're like remains. They're not scraps. They're what's left from something else. And again, they still have value. So I don't know. Maybe we could have, projects made with the cold dead remains of a previous project. No, let's not go with that. Oh, you could hear him meow. He was so loud. Grandma refers to hers as yarn reserves, not scraps, so Grandpa didn't throw them out. Yeah, I love that. Reserves. I love that terminology. patchworkers are wonders at using all the bits and bobs. Absolutely they are. They get them so much value out of their fabrics, and the fabrics are expensive, you know, and the patterns are expensive. So they have to like get the best value out of it. Like I know people that literally finish a project, any leftovers, they bin them because they don't keep a stash and they certainly don't keep scraps. And you're just like, really? Like that couldn't have gone to some, no, it's not worth the hassle. Oh, okay. Now, I'm not saying don't bin yucky yarn. I have binned yarn that I was just like, no, I'm not dealing with this anymore. It is gone. But I honestly believe no one would want to use it. Like it was like awful. And it was just like, I do not want to, you know, what's the word? Inflict this upon another crafter. There we go. Alrighty. I like to start on the loose piece. That's the trick. I'm really liking how this is setting up here. And yeah, you can still see it. It still stands out because of the yarn. It still stands out. But, and I wasn't trying to make it invisible. Otherwise, I would have mattress stitched it. Now, I want that there. So that's the corner that I want to work into. So, you know, if I wanted to make an invisible join, we could totally make an invisible join. Go and mattress stitch it. I just didn't feel like mattress stitching this. I call them leftovers because they're mainly still over 10 grams. Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I don't keep like the little ends. Like I know some people do and use them for stuffing. I don't have anything that needs that kind of stuffing. But I'm talking 5 to 10 grams minimum. Like enough for a row of something. Do you know what I mean? Like a usable amount. I worked out that the squares that I was making my Battenberg with are 2.5 grams of 4-ply yarn. And so even something as small as that was enough to be useful in a project. Molly's, oh, here we go. One thing I hate about weaving in is all the wasted yarn at the start and the ending of a warp. Yeah, I can imagine that. Do you utilize those ends on a warp to tie on your next warp to bring it through so at least it had a purpose? Yeah, a crap yarn in the bin. Wonder if one person's crap yarn is another person's treasure. These ones were not. I honestly believe they were the only place for them was the bin. I have a tote box chock-a-block with scraps. I've made 2 queen size quilts from the box and haven't even made a dent on the volume. I know, I really struggled with that one, didn't I? Abby's laughing at me out there. I really struggled with the words then. Chock-a-block. That's very Australian, the chock-a-block full. Where did we get that from? That'd have to be a terminology for something. Chock-a-block. Full chockers. Louie, hello. Are you going to sit on your bed so I can put your camera on? Oh, you are? Oh, Lulu. Hang on, the camera didn't come on. There it is. Get your foot out of it, Abby. Oh, got caught up in the stitch there. Try again. So I did the math on this one. And so I'm going to put 15 together. I've made 16, but I'm going to put 15 together to see how it's sort of sitting, because I can adjust this. And the other thing is, if I do want it a little less snug now, but one thing I know is I've worked with this particular yarn before, not this colorway, but this yarn, and it does relax a little bit in laundering. So I know that once I wash it, I'll get a little bit more drape and a little bit more flexibility in it. So if it's just a little, like it's just snug, like as in it just sits, I'm not saying too tightly, but just sits, I know that I'll get the ease that I want out of it by just washing it. But if it's too firm, it won't. And I won't know until I go to try on and measure it. There we go. Next, that over there, bring this over here, join this. Sorry, I have to say it out loud so that I know I'm doing the right things. So I'm very sorry if that is perplexing for anybody else and you're wondering why I'm describing it so constantly. It's because I need it. I got Toy Poodle Snuggles yesterday. The Cavalier Spaniel was unimpressed and snoozed on my foot. Well, that is very, I mean, it's not nice that, you know, that the Cavalier was unimpressed, but I'm glad you got Toy Poodle Snuggles. Louis is a Toy Poodle cross Havanese, and he does good snuggles. Oh, this one's going to blend in a little bit because it happens to be very similar to the ending row of this other square. What are the chances? I mean, they're not zero. All the yarn comes from the same ball of yarn, but it's pretty low, right? Now I could decide to pull this, but I want to have a look at it and see if it's, you know, bad. But my goal is to not be too precious about where the colors are landing. Please, and I need my brain to not be too precious. Originally, this was a nautical word for pulley blocks that were touching each other's, which led to the meaning crowded and dense. Ah. You chuck the blocks so they don't move. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? I would never have thought it was nautical. I would have thought it would be some like dodgy Nescafe 80s television ad, but it actually has like etymological meaning. That's pretty cool. I like that. Thank you for digging that out, both of you. Yes, I want this one. No, that one there is the next one. Alrighty. Let's see. We're going to put this down on the table and have a little look and judge whether it blends in too much and whether or not I should pull it and drop another rectangle in its spot. Unfortunately, not rectangle, pentagon. Unfortunately, I did not keep the pentagons in the order that I made them, which would have been smart. All right, let's have a look here. What do you guys think? Do you think that blends like that's an issue, or do you think it's fine? I personally think probably fine. But what do you think? So see how this color of this joining seam is the same color as this last row. So it sort of blends in. I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, I can still see it. So let me know. Let me know. I'm going to drink some tea while you guys tell me in the chat. Yeah, I think the texture's fine. I think the texture is what makes it stand out. Looks good to Molly and Francis and Vampy. Let's have a look at how we're going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're about halfway around. We're at halfway around the skirt. Claire only needed like 10 squares for her skirt, or 8 squares or something. Pentagons, I need 16. And I put an extra round on each one to make them bigger. This is the thing. We can make it fit ourselves. If you have got narrower hips than Claire, you could adjust it. So if you still want lots of the points to create the ripples, you just make much smaller. So Claire's were four rows, mine are 5, but you could do 2 rows if you wanted a much smaller one. And that's the other thing. You could do 2 rows or 4 rows or whatever, less rows, and have more of the shapes to create more of the ripples. So, you know, it's going to come down to what you want it to look like for you. So yeah, I love this sort of, oops, hang on. I was like ready to start the next one. Maybe I should finish that one off first. Just, you know, something different. Okay. That's joining there. Hello, Lou. You took your other blanket. Louis got his little blue blanket that Kelly made, but he was wearing it around the house yesterday. Like a weirdo. That goes there. Okay. What stitch am I using to join? I don't know the name of it. It's like a flat slip stitch join. Whose video did I watch? I think I watched, I want to say Bella Coco. I think it was a Bella Coco tutorial on how to do it. Let me just I'll have a quick look. I'll see if it's in my viewing history. Oh, Abby's gone and got his blue blanket. Thank you, Abs. Let me just double check because it's such a great slip stitch join. I'd love for you all to know what it is. Oh, you're such a cutie. And for some reason can't type Bella. Let me look here. It was in a compilation of like, it is 3 easy. Here it is. This is the video I watched. Oh, no. That's okay. I know where I'm confused because to do this, I needed a different. Maybe it wasn't a Bella Coco tutorial. It's a zigzag slip stitch. Here we go. Let me grab a link. Share. Copy. Into here. Zigzag slip stitch join. There you go. That's the link. So it's a zigzag slip stitch join. I think that's the video that I watched. I'm not 100%, but it definitely looks like the same stitch. The thing I liked about it was that, that other one's not tight enough. Oh, there's a fly now as well. Awesome. I'm not sure if it was this or if it was Bella Coco or Nastasia that I watched. It was one of them. But it is the zigzag slip stitch. And it's all worked from the top. You don't need to pull your hook out. And that's what I liked about it, because I didn't want to be pulling the hook out, working from the back, grabbing the loop, bringing it through. Now, if you want that look, that's what you got to have. But I wanted this look. So it's really, really, you basically slip stitch into this stitch, then the opposite stitch, you slip stitch into that stitch, and then you slip stitch into this stitch, and then you slip stitch into that stitch, and just keep going backwards and forwards off both sides. Real video. And it's so simple, and it's actually once therapeutic. My biggest issue is I'm trying to make sure I'm getting these. Okay, have fun. Take tissues. You're going to spread your germs. Abby's got a cold. Everyone who doesn't want to get a cold, keep away from the Hyperdome. Abby, shush. Hear it. Okay, now that I've got both of those going. Go away, Tails. Educator. Unless your favorite educator is me, and then there's no tutorial, which I will endeavor to remedy. Maybe I'll make a short. I don't know if it needs a full video. But yeah, this is one of the things that I love. Like, we just need to join these squares, right? So we could make the decision, do you want the joins visible? Because this is a garment. Do you want these lines? Like, where do you like lines? You know, the visual lines, right? Or do you want them to be hidden? Do you want them to more seamlessly blend into each other? Then you would go with a mattress stitch where it is less visible, or a join that is visible on the back rather than the front. Whereas I was pretty happy for a visible join. I just wanted it flatter. So I could have gone with sort of that zipper join, the one where it looks like just the single like stitches down the front, but you do have to take your hook out and work from the back and blah, 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 blah. Did I want to do that? Obviously, by the blah, 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 I have a high opinion of it. I actually think it looks beautiful. And in some instances, it is the right call. In this instance, I've got some choices here. Oh, what have I done now? It's too busy blah, 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 blahing. And I'm a stitch short again. Where did I go wrong? Way back here at the start. Oh, how I tell, sorry, is by looking, these do not line up. So the end of this section is lining up with the beginning of that section rather than the end of that section. Whereas here, they line up. So when I look at this, that's not lining up. That's not lining up. That's not lining up. And that's not lining up. So I botched it right at the start. That's how I'm telling. Am I frozen? I just give a really great description on something and it turns out I'm frozen. Like, legit. What? Molly says, I'm just looking for joins at the moment. I've just finished a lot of blocks. Oh, that's sad, but also cute, Abby. Oh, what does the back of the join look like? Let me just grab in one more here just to stabilize this guy a bit more. And then I'll flip it. So that's the back of the join. You can focus, little thing. Hang on. So I actually think it's pretty neat on the back. So the join is these V's. So I think it's actually pretty, I think it's pretty decent. Oh, look, you can see I botched something there. Good job, me. Don't look at that one. We'll just scroll right on past it. There we go. Look at that one. That actually probably stands out the best. So you've got your green and your dark purple, and those V's are our join. So I think it actually looks really nice on the back. And it's nice and flat. So for a garment, it'll actually, like, it won't be like, you know, a lumpy bit. It'll just be perfectly fine and normal. Yeah, Ruth, I think we worked out that it was just you. Okay, let me have a look here. But yeah, I hadn't even checked the back, so thank you for making me look at that. I was just like, oh yeah, the front's great. But you're right, we do need to be aware of the back. I think for especially joining squares, I think that will look lovely. Yeah, I agree, Molly. I think the back looks great. Because isn't that always the way? You'll find something that you just love the look of on the front, and then when you flip it over, you're like, well, that looks like a dog's breakfast, doesn't it? So it's very cool that this actually looks nice both sides. You know, when we do it correctly. Let's not look at the one where I made that, whatever that mistake was. I've no idea what I did there. Actually, I think I might have a fair idea. I think I may have like gone into the space rather than into the stitch. That's all I can picture that I did without noticing it on the front that it was a massive error. Okay. So in Claire's video, you have to find the widest part of your hip and it needs to just touch, like the ends need to kiss each other. Because it's not actually the waist. This is just below the waist. It has a waistband. There we go. That's correct. Let's just roll these guys back up again. Okay. It's so nice when something just works out like that. We're doing well. We're plowing through. Alrighty, next. That goes like that. I want to work into this space. And then into. There it is. Make sure I'm in the right spot. Okay. Alrighty, sorry. Yeah, a dog's breakfast. Yeah, Sandy. It's nice to see you in the chat. But yes, a dog's breakfast. We don't want that. We don't want our crochet and knitting to look like a dog's breakfast. Especially not if we're intending on wearing it. Now, I mean, I love my dog. Don't I, Louie? I love you, Louie. For those of you that don't know, we've got Louie Cam off to the side here. He is having a snooze under his little blanket that Kelly made for him. Oh, Kelly made. I don't know if she specifically made it for him, but Kelly made it. And she was okay. I checked with her if I was allowed to let Louie have it because it's very small. It's Louie sized. But when we're making stuff as garments, we don't want that like, you know that, oh, grandma made it. Oh, thanks. And it go in a cupboard and it never be worn. We want the, oh my gosh, this is so original and gorgeous. I'm going to wear it all the time kind of thing. So, you know, like I've got a teenage daughter, okay? Getting her to wear something that I have made is like pulling teeth. Oh, I think I see exactly how I did that last time. There we go. I know what I did. And the other day she's actually come home and she's got photos of a garment that she saw in a store. And it was a granny square sort of crop thing. And she was like, could you make something like this? I was like, yes. She's like, could you make it for me? And I'm like, will you wear it? She's like, if you make it in colors I like. I was like, okay, we can go shopping for colors that you like and I can make that for you. And I was just like, what made you, you know, usually she'll just go out and buy these items in stores, right? Done it again. Maybe I should be checking this before I get this far in. Maybe I'll check the next one right at the start. Be like, dude, you've done it wrong. there. There's nowhere else for it to go. It has to go in there. It goes into there. And she goes, oh, just because I thought you would lose your mind if I brought home a granny square thing that was, mass produced in a store. And I was like, well, I'm glad you thought of that, because we all know that in these stores where all these young people are buying, young people, I feel very old saying that, where all these young people are buying all their clothes, they'll buy a cute granny square crop or top or whatever, and they don't realize that there's actually no machinery that can actually crochet. There's machinery that can make faux crochet, but not actual crochet. That is somebody in a sweatshop has hand crocheted that garment that's on sale for $20 that would have cost someone, if you were to make that for yourself, it would have cost you $20 in yarn. So therefore it works out better value to have buy this sweatshop made garment. But it's a sweatshop made garment that they're not getting any help with machinery. Somebody is sitting down with a hook in their hand. And I don't know. I mean, I suppose all sweatshop made garments is bad, but for some reason this feels worse. I don't know. Like, let me know in the chat. Does it feel better or worse that we've got garments that can be made on knitting machines versus garments that have to be made by hand? I don't know. I just feel like it's worse. And it's probably, like, realistically, it's no worse. It's all bad. But my brain has just put it in this other bucket, which is so weird. Anyway, over here. Oh, we're doing the thing again where I've got a matching color to do our join on. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Reminding everybody to do the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Okay. So yeah, so I don't know. Like, is it worse, better or worse? The sound keeps dropping in and out. I get every second or third word. Is that happening for everybody else as well? Let me know in the chat. Francis saying my son is less picky. My daughter, I've given up. Yeah. Look, I don't suggest anything for her anymore. Like, mine's 20 now. I would never suggest anything because heaven forbid. But yeah. Francis says, I'm with you. I can't buy any jumpers or cardies, etc. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It went out, but it came back. Francis says sound is good for her. It's very weird. Very, very weird. All right, I'm going to check once I get past. Oh, look, see, I think it's already an issue. I can see it already. Yeah, all right. I'm botching up the first stitch. So let me go in. So we've done both our corner stitches. Then we go into the first stitch. Here, go around, come through. So that's still the corner stitch. So that has to go in there. I feel like I have to skip a stitch for some reason to make them line up. It's probably not skipping a stitch, but it feels like it's skipping a stitch, which is just weird. Anyway, I feel like I'm lined up again now. Yep, lined up. Francis says, I had glitching about 20 minutes ago, but reloaded and it's fine. Sandy says, I find machine mass produced knit clothes just don't fit quite right. I agree. They don't. That's one of the big reasons why I learned how to do this stuff, was because I wanted to make my own things. But then I got scared and I just made lots and lots of blankets and homewares and things for my daughter when she was younger and actually appreciated handmade things. She'll come back around because, they all do. They all come back around. It's like anything, right? They give up on their music. They give up on their crafting, all that sort of stuff. They have a few years of life of doing things differently, and then they come back going, actually, you know what? That's actually not a bad way to do things. I'm going to get back into that. And that's just swings and roundabouts of life. But yeah, I find that they just don't fit right. And if I want it to fit right, I need to be able to customize it. And I get frustrated wearing clothes that don't fit right. It bothers me. I know for some people, they're just so used to it, like whatever, get over it. But it really does just bother me. It's like I'm uncomfortable enough as it is. I don't need extra folds of fabric getting in the way and making it worse. My opinion on this is not too popular, but I'll share it anyway. Sometimes in the very poor economic areas that truly need the money for their families, absolutely, you're quite right. I don't think it's a hot take. I just think, these people, this is their job. This is what they're doing to earn income for their families. I've got to come over here. And that's the going rate, and that's actually a decent wage, but for them and their families in that place. I think you're right, Leanne. I think you're right. I think that was one of the reasons why I used to love Holy Clothing. Not that I don't still love them, I just don't shop with them anymore. But was that one of the things that they did? They're in India, and they paid their staff a decent wage. It meant that the garments were a bit more expensive than other garments sourced from similar areas, made similarly. But knowing that the staff were paid a decent wage and that they would stay working, and they quite often hired widows, so women with children, so who needed a decent income and were not unable to get a second income into their homes. So yeah, finding the companies that do the right thing by their workers is possible, and they are advertising the fact of it now, or more so. But yeah, I still take issue with some brands that are just like, it's ridiculous. Like they sell that item for hundreds of dollars, but they've only paid somebody like $2 to make it. I look at store-bought knits, and I think if I spend 3 times that amount, I can get a garment that will last at least 6 winters instead of 1. Isn't that true? And you can make it out of a fiber that you prefer. And, quite often I'll find something that I love the color and I love the feel of it in a store, and then find out it's like all polyester, right? Or, all man-made fibers. And I'm like, especially plus size women's fashion, I don't know about other parts of the world, but in Australia, decent plus size clothes cost an absolute fortune, right? You want to get yourself a decent plus size women's jumper, you're looking at, and when I say fortune, I'm thinking fortune compared to like, a similar jumper if it was in one of the skinnier girls stores. And now I know that we need more yarn. I have to buy the extra yarn. I get it. But we don't need to be paying 3 or 4 times the price for a garment that's twice the size, like soz, but disagree with that. But anyway, yeah, so having to spend like an absolute fortune, like on a jumper or a cardigan that doesn't fit quite right, may have something about it that is not great, but you know what? It's close. It fits close enough, but then you still got to pay like $150 or $200 for it. And you're like, well, that's not even quite what I want, but that's all I can get, right? So being able to make it yourself, and yeah, like we're not getting commercial rates on the yarn, right? Getting retail rates. Oops, I want that one. So yeah, I did have the right one. So yeah, we have to pay more for the yarn than the manufacturing companies have to pay, and especially if it's knitted, they're throwing it through a machine program with somebody who will run it through another machine to join it. There's not much in the way of actual hand stitching going on. There's hands touching it, but not hand stitching. And I don't know. I take take offense to that. I take offense to having to spend my hard-earned money on clothes that don't fit right. And I know it's not even just a size thing. It's everybody who's buying clothes is feeling this. Now, let me just double check that these are lining up. Yes, thank goodness. I find it very frustrating getting to the end of it, about to cut it, and then realize, no, it is wrong and you must redo it, you peasant. Try again. I very much like this join. I have to say, this is probably the most I've ever used it on anything. And I like it. It makes me think of, it nearly makes me think of the crab stitch. Like, I know it's different. I do. I really do. But my brain is just as satisfied with it as it is with the crab stitch. I don't know why. I like it. I like it. I like the back and I like the front. I like that you get some texture without too much in the way of height. I like that I don't have to disengage my hook and hook through the back and wrap it around and do a dance, and you know the drill. Oh yeah. Lots in here. We're losing more and more clothing shops that carry the over 18 plus. Yes, we are. Look, I was chatting with a friend of mine. She is a size 16, which is the current average size of Australian woman is 14 to 16. She went into a store and they only stocked to a size 12. She, a size 16 woman, which is the average Australian size, could not shop in a store. And she went to a couple of different stores and was actually having the same problem. She could not get a size 14 to 16. She's like an in-betweenie, but she could not get a 14 or a 16 because the highest they went to was a 12. And I think that is a problem. Look at the average market. Like, I get that they don't want to give everybody, you know, not everybody wants the size 18 ups in their store for whatever reasons. But seriously, the size 16s, they are the average. 14 to 16 is the average Australian size. So, like, deal with it. Those of you watching in the from the US, our sizes are different. I don't know. I can't remember if the Australian. I think the Australian numbers are. I can't remember. I know that, like, if I want to buy American clothes, I've got to go. Oh, I go down a size. So, like, it's just different sizing equals your size, like for women's clothing. So if I need a 22 Australian, I look at the US 20s. I think that's, or is it the other way around? I can't remember. It's one or the other. I either go up one or down one. I can't quite remember when it comes to women's clothing. So yeah, somebody in the chat would probably be able to help with that. If you make I've got to go back. I just wish there was more natural fibers used. There's a shop here called City Chic. It is a store designed for plus size women. I went in there during summer. Oops, I think I botched that up. Try again. And they did not have, because I asked, what do you have in cotton or linen or you know, natural fibers? And all they could offer me were t-shirts. And I'm like, no, I'm looking for like pants or something like linen pants. And they had nothing. Everything was polyester. And it was, this store is expensive, right? It is an expensive store. And I was just like, really? I'm not going to spend that kind of money for polyester. Like, I happily spend it for linen or you know, something else, but not polyester. But I have heard that a lot of fashion houses are moving away from polyester and heading more towards viscose. Now, viscose, it's not perfect, but it's definitely better than polyester. Acrylic flops and polyester holds onto odors. Agreed. If you make a jumper with 4-ply yarn, will you use a single strand or for a double strand? I don't understand that, Claire. I'm not quite sure. Okay. So an Australian 10 is a 6 in the US. So is it down 2 sizes? Okay. Alrighty, I get that. All right, so if I'm a 22, then I get to drop down to an 18 in the US. All right, okay, I think I've got it. Yeah, I knew I had to. I remember I bought swimwear from an American store like many years ago, and bought the wrong size. Like I didn't realize that there was a difference at that stage. Now I know, but at that stage I didn't know there was a difference. And it was much roomier. Now, because of what I purchased, it was fine. It was fine. I bought like a sundress to go over swimwear. The swimwear that I bought was a particular sort that, you know, was fine. It would have been just as fine, a bit snugger, but it was totally fine as loose as it was as well. Yeah, I love their style, but not their fabrics. I'm the same. I absolutely love a lot of their styles. I don't like that they feel the need to bedazzle a lot of stuff. That does bother me. But like I don't like, like a perfectly nice top with a really cute print on it, and then they go and glue on a pile of metallic beads, and they're glued on. They're not even stitched on. And I'm like, what's the purpose of this? It looks awful. You've dated it. It's now no one under 60 is going to wear it, but no one 60 or over is going to come into this store unless they need to, because you market yourselves to the much younger crowd. Here we go. Kelly says, I was reading an article where people were sending clothes back to the brand so they can deal with disposing of their crappy poly clothes rather than sending them to landfill. Oh, that is pretty cool. I like that. It was super interesting and got the brands to take responsibility for the materials that they use. Oh, okay. Claire says, you were saying that if you wanted to make a scrap 4-ply yarn jumper, just wondering if you'll use a single strand. Jumpers for me are 1 strand at 8-ply, sometimes double. No, I'd use a single strand. It's even in winter, it's quite warm up here. And I'll wear a top under a sweater, like I layer it. And if I have a t-shirt on and I've got a DK weight sweater, I can't wear it. It's too hot. Like I'm seriously contemplating frogging it, which is 2 reasons. One, I made it a size too big, and it swims on me. Well, I actually think I made it a few sizes too big. It literally swims on me. I look like a kid borrowing mum's sweater. And B, it's so warm that the only place I've ever worn it was when I was in Bendigo. I've never worn it since. And that just feels like such a waste. Now, what have I done there? Now I'm down one. Lined up. I lost the line up here. There we go. Guess I didn't have to go back as far that time. So 1, 2, 3. I think that's what I needed to do to line that up. We'll soon find out. The other thing is you can jiggery pokery this a little bit just to make things balance out a bit. If you just need to move things along by stitch, that's what I've been doing. Yeah, no, I'd make it in 4-ply. That's all I need. I would not hold 2 4-plies together. Yeah, I don't think so anyway. I mean, it would depend on the pattern and how badly I wanted the pattern and what the pattern needed to be made out of. And I think I botched that, for Crying out loud. All right. You go in there. And then you go in there. And you go in there. Let's see if this is correct. Third time's a charm. Third time's the charm. I'm about to hit the double whammy, turning 60 and being oversized, and I'm really struggling to find clothes because I don't want to look old, and I find today's fashion seems really old, doesn't it though? Like, I'm really struggling. Like, one thing I'll say is I'm very boring when it comes to clothes, right? Like, I basically have a uniform, and it's so I don't have to think about crap. I have linen pants in either black or dark blue. I do have some brown ones, but I don't tend to wear them, but I do have them. Black or dark blue, and a cotton t-shirt in either black or grey, and I tend to wear that most of the time. I have to really think about what I'm going to be doing before I'll go to the effort of wearing another color or another kind of top. But sourcing linen pants has been really hard for me because I don't want like pastels. I want black or I want dark blue. So yeah, it's one of those things. Francis says, Claire, I like a 4-ply weight jumper. Excuse me, in Sydney, it's not cold enough for the bulky weights. We're on to the last one. Okay, so that's number 16. All right. Now, I wanted to do 15 and give it a try on, but I'm a bit nervous about doing a try on for everybody here. I'm a bit embarrassed. Like, I'm just going to stand over here for a bit. All right, you go back up there. I don't want to lose you because I probably will need to join number 16. Oh, hello, Louie. Okay, where's the tops? All right, now we get to see if Chantel's math actually works. No, Chantel's math did not work. Oh, well, okay. I'm just making sure I'm on the widest part of my hips here. All right. My math really didn't work. Like in the good way. In the good way, it didn't work. Okay. I didn't need 16. No. I need to remove 3. So, all right, so I need to take 3 off. Which was the last 3 I put on? Let me have a look here. Which ones do I want to go? 1, 2, 3. Well, I mean, there's a purple one there. And that's a purple one. 1, 2, 3 means there's a green. Okay, either way, I'm going to be matching up to colors. So I'll probably go 1, 2, 3, because that purple at least has got a purple border on it. Oh, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. So I've got it. So that one needs to stay. So it's 1, 2, and 3 that need to go. So I need to pull. Oh my gosh. I was really thinking, okay, I'm going to need 16 because I measured my waist and I measured how long each of one of these were and judged it from that. Now I'm going to have like, look at all these little annoying scraps that I'm going to have. They're going to tick me off. Or you could add 16 and turn it into a wrap skirt. Maybe down the track, but right now I just wanted a skirt that I just pulled up and on. Because I do like the idea of a wrap skirt, but this particular skirt is made in the round. It's not like one long, like it's one long piece now, but I'm about to join it together. And 3. Well, I'll need one of these strands back to join the 2 ends together, I suppose. Yeah, I did. I pulled it down and it was over the widest part. Absolutely. I made sure of that. I am about to recheck. but I did make sure it was the widest part. My butt and my fupa. That's where I measured over. I just think that that I didn't allow for the join. All right, hang on. Let me just see if I can make it so you can see me. So yeah, so there is over the widest part. I've actually still got a little bit of room. I don't have like a whole other square room, but I have like, you know, a couple of rows over. But with a bit of elastic, I'll be all right. But yeah, that's my widest part is here. So yeah, I think I'm good. Widest bits. All right. Ooh, okay. Now I need to join those bits. Join these two bits together. Yeah, so even though they're both, oh, hang on, back down here. Even though they're both purple, make sure I grab a green bit for the join. They're different shades of purple at least. And don't forget, you mentioned it will have, oh, absolutely. But I don't think there's enough give for me to remove another one. I think I'm just going to have to accept the whole Chantel's waist is way smaller than her hips. There'll be some bunching. So what I was thinking is actually doing some stitches reduction to try and narrow the waistband down just a little because it's still got to pull up and over. But yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I will get this bit joined. Get this bit joined here. I need this corner piece here. And this corner piece here. And then, oops, out of the way tail. I love the colours too. Thanks, Sandy. So one, two, two. I'm just making sure I'm getting the right line up to start with. This is where I always botch it, and it feels weird joining the two ends together. I don't have the same movement that I could have before. Alrighty. Then we'll probably weave some ends in because we have a few. Oh, we've gone off line somewhere. Where do we go? Where do we lose our line? Right back at the start. Gosh, I'm an umpty. Like, no, I'm going to try so hard not to have to repeat it and do it all over again. Somehow, yet I do. Alrighty, we're getting there. And I've learnt I can't tell the first line until I'm into the second line. But if you want to make this, this is Crochet with Claire's free pattern over on her channel page. I have got it linked in my projects on Ravelry. I've got my Ravelry projects linked in the description, I think. So you can have a look there. Kelly's got, oh yeah, it's all mermaidy colors. Got no issues with looking like a mermaid. Like, I'll take it. Thanks very much. Once I get this, oh, I've lost all the yarn. Let me try again. Has anybody watched the Mindhunter series on I want to say Netflix. I could be wrong. I think it's Netflix. I've been watching it and it's a bit dark and sad. So I've been, alternating that out with Matt's Off-Road Recovery. Which just seems like a really odd mix, but they're working. They're working together, light and uplifting and positive, and then Mind Hunters. Are we into? Oh nope, come back out. You are in the wrong spot. You need to go into the gap. Into the gap. Boom. All right. This is the skirt, making sure that it is. I was so worried, honestly. Oops. That the circle's only going to work with a certain number of these pentagons, but it seems to work with whatever number we need. I'm going to try and pull this on. But cross your fingers that I can pull it up. I don't think I'm going to have a problem, but Oh. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. No problems. Actually, one problem. Claire, I need your feedback. Let's go here. Should there be that much space once it's all stitched together? Like, is it a square? It's not a square. It's not a hole. No, it's all right. It's just quite loose. But it's not a whole. It's nearly. But it's not a whole one. Oh, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I need to pull another one out. Oh, what do you guys think? And then which was the last one that I just did because I didn't mark it like an idiot? Claire says no. No, don't pull one out, or no, it's not supposed to be like that. I'm just double checking that there's no I haven't given myself some extra space by some loose stitches or something. You're going to cinch it for the waist anyway. Yes, I am, but the problem being, that the issue is that my waist measurement is already I want to say 30 centimeters smaller than my hip. Hang on, it could be 20. I'm just measuring my waist here. Sorry. Breathe out. Yeah, so my waist is 46 inches and my hips are 60. So I'm already bringing it in, so the 120 to 150, 117 to 150. So it's already coming in. It's already, the waistband's already got a cinch in around 20 centimeters. So yeah, so here, this is the widest part, but there's enough air that I think I could probably remove one of these. Like take this, just one off of it. I want, and so I'm just and it will drape. Like, this is the other thing, when this fabric washes, because I've washed it before, I'm like, do I risk it? I don't know if I risk it. It's acrylic. It's a very drapey when washed acrylic. I mean, you're right, Francis. It's not actually hard to take one more off and then go from there. I'm like, which one do I want to take off? They're all so cute. But you're right. It's not hard to take one out. And then I'm just going to do this one here. There's no reason other than that it's just right here, and I've stopped trying to make a decision. Oh, that was one way I could have worked out, which is the one I just left in. it was what do you call it? Purple. Oh, it was green instead of purple. All right. So take this one out and stitch these two together. Man, I've gone from being embarrassed that I needed 16 to 2 for taking 5 out. So I'm just embarrassed that my math is so far off. I don't know. This one might end up needing to go back in yet. We'll just judge it and see. But I'll grab a pin so I can at least put it back where it was. So that goes in there. Oops, I lost the loop. Let's try again. Sorry guys, we're going to run a little bit over today while I plan this. I can't believe we're already out of time. Sorry, the time has flown for me. Has it flown for you? But I do want your input and advice. So please hang around to help me out, making sure this one looks all right. But I do definitely understand if you have to skedaddle as well. My elastic is about 2 inches wide and will hide the crochet waist and will hide. I can't do a 2-inch wide elastic waistband because of how my waist is. I can do a 1 or a 1.5 inch wide. But I will see how that goes. Just bear with while I get this bit done. And then I'll grab a couple of pins. Or stitch markers, I should say, rather than pins. I'm not going to put pins in it because I'll stab myself. Let me know in the chat. If you use pins in something, are you pretty much guaranteed that you're going to poke your own self? Because I am. It's like, oh, look, let's just plan to stab our own self. All right. Pull that. You'll have enough for a top. Yeah, right? Okay. Let me just do this. All right, so that's coming out to 75 centimeters. No, what am I saying? Was it 75 or 65? 66 centimeters. Let me try it on. Yeah, I think that's it. Move out of the way, big chair. It's staying up by itself. It's not tight. It's firm enough that it's staying up by itself. It's on my widest part. My princess. I'm a pretty princess skirt. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm happy with that. Okay. Now I have to weave in all these ends. Oh, here we go. There we go. So we've ended up going with, instead of 16 squares, we've gone with 11, okay? Because I'm using an acrylic, it will stretch out. It obviously already has a little bit, but when I wash this, it'll also drape beautifully. So yeah, now I've got, like, you know, what am I going to do with these? I will make something. I don't know. But yeah, so, oh yeah, command control princess. Use yarn loops to trial fit. What do you mean by that? Perfect. Thanks, Claire. Yeah, it just sat there. It wasn't tight. It wasn't snug, but it sat there. So that's cool. Yeah. So So they'll be able to put the waistband on, which would be great. I'm thinking, I'm tossing up between elastic and a drawstring. I like both ideas. And I'll have to decide that soon, but I'll weave ends in first because there's a lot of ends to go with here. So, and these guys I want to secure properly because otherwise they could come undone. So I don't want to just crochet over them. I want to weave them in. So yeah, no, it's not going to be a bathing suit. It's made out of acrylic. Let's have a look here. Love those colors together. Me too. Look, I'm not doing any work with the colors. It's just this yarn. It's doing all of the work, and I'm trying very hard not to mentally play the game of, oh, but I want this to end in a certain spot, and you know, all that kind of drill. I'm just going through the ball. I was hoping that, you know, 10 balls would be enough for a skirt. I'm thinking I'm not going to have any problems. So we'll see. I do want my skirt to be a little fuller and a little longer than Claire's in the image. So I'm going to be adding in some, I want mine a bit more A-line rather than pencil. So I'll be adding in a little bit of adjusting as I go. Not a lot, but just a little bit. Enough just to give me the A-line rather than the straight. I just need a little bit more. Although it's going over the hip, so it's already going to give it that bit more A-line. It's already going to ruffle a little bit, so maybe I should just go with and see how it looks. We'll see. We'll see. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you all so much for hanging out. And while we had this huge chat about making clothes that fit, if you jumped in during the latter half of the live stream, please go back and watch the start. We had a massive talk about why we make our own clothes. Even when we have dramas with, you know, like it end up being too big. But you know, I've learnt something, and I will be making the Tide Pool again. This is the Tide Pool. I will just make it a bit smaller, but I love how it fits and I love how it sits. I'm just not happy with like how wide it is. So I will totally be giving that another go. But I am also going to be looking for some crochet garment tops with a bit more shaping so I can have a bit of shape around the arm. So if you guys have any suggestions for those, please drop them into the Discord or over onto the Facebook page. So that would be amazing because I am looking for some plus sized crochet tops that are a little bit more like I don't want to have to wear a layer all the time because it is hot here. It is winter. All right, here we go. It is winter. We're technically winter now, guys, are we? I think we're technically winter. Right now, it's midday, so hot, you know, hot time of the day. Where's the temperature? There it is. Okay. It's currently 25 degrees Celsius. So 25 degrees Celsius. 25 C to F. It's currently 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's still autumn. Okay, it's still autumn. Thank you. So we're coming up end of this month. It'll be winter, but it's still 25 degrees, or 77. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm appreciating the cold chill, especially at night and in the mornings. But when I'm looking at what I'm going to wear for the day, it's not usually something handmade at this stage because they're quite thick and heavy. And I need a layer under it. Like, that's the problem. I could not get away with this without my little cami. So, yeah, definitely looking at some alternatives, which is, you know, why I'm making this sweater. It's out of pure cotton 4-ply, and it's not a sweater. It's going to be a t-shirt. And it's just going to be a t-shirt. And hopefully I won't need a cami or anything under it. Hopefully. Anyway, I can just keep talking, apparently. But it's time to go. I need to make some lunch. I need to get some work done. And I'm sure you've got other things that you need to do. So I will catch you all back here, same time, same place next week. We started about 2 hours ago. We tend to try to go for about 2 hours on a Thursday. In my time, it might be a Wednesday evening. Have an awesome week. Have a think about making your next garment, and I will catch you next time. Bye now.